one game on it. He went unkilled and got, I believe, 14 assists. It was a fantastic performance.
So in this setting with Zach banned now as well, Thresh goes way up in priority for that first pick for Vitality. We'll have to see whether Misfits ban that away, but Vitality singling out that Kennen for the top lane. We have, of course, seen Alfari in splits gone by playing the Kennen. He's played one game of it in the summer split. We'll have to see if he gets his hands on that anymore.
And of course, with the 2 jungle bans here for Misfits and the Blitz being banned out, it feels to me like a Lee Sin for Thresh trade.
Yeah.
And I wonder if Misfits will be happy enough with that. There are some options. Of course, Max Law has run Kha'Zix only once in the past, and that's still in the pool too.
If Thresh goes to Vitality here, Misfits can likely just pick Tahm Kench. You just pick it up and go, okay, whoever you hook, I'm going to eat. Everything's fine. They take away the Galio from Vitality as an option for first pick as well now. So you're looking at maybe that Lee Sin, Tahm Kench, whether it's a Xayah gets picked up is remaining to be seen. The Kalista was another pick that was not available in the last game that actually is an option this game now for Misfits.
And of course, Thresh, by the way, is the only champion that remains 100% picked and banned in the summer split here in Europe. Kalista was in fact banned by Vitality in game number 1, and Hans Summer has picked that in the first rotation. No surprises. Max Law is playing his signature champion right now for the 8th time this split.
And Kalista opens up so many options for support that Misfits actually don't need to rush towards Tahm Kench now for themselves, because with this Kalista you just put anything, you can put like a Taric in there, anything, you just throw him at the enemy and everything's fine. Taking a long look at Joko, he's just locked in the top laner for Cabochard. Remember, in the last game up against that Rumble was the Renekton pick for Misfits, and it didn't do great in the laning phase, but then neither did the mid lane, and Power of Evil started crushing the later it went.
Such a difficult situation for this Vitality squad. Joko, as you mentioned, stern, serious looks. He's going to run the Kha'Zix into Lee Sin, so 80 carries potentially to be banned out. And there's the Tahm Kench that you mentioned several times,
yeah.
Stress. And priorities now in phase 2. Do Misfits just remove some opposition to Kalista as far as the 80 carry pool, or once again look at those mid laners like they did in game 1?
I think you can ban Caitlyn and then not really look too much more at the 80 carry pool here. Xayah if you're really scared of that lane, but I don't necessarily think it's that important. I think they'll look towards mid laners like this Lucian ban coming through as Misfits. Maybe it'll be a Syndra coming out for Power of Evil here. The Corki also worked great. No reason not to pick that up. There aren't too many matchups that dumpster it so much that you don't get into that late game phase.
That's a really good point. Power of Evil will pretty comfortably, pretty happily run a Corki again. It's a Kled ban out for Vitality, so trying to get Cabochard a little bit more of a comfortable matchup, I feel.
One thing they're scared of here is if you play Kled into Rumble, you can very easily set up ganks with this Tahm Kench. Renekton will do the same thing though. Like Kled maybe has more sticking power.
Oh, that's true. And something that also benefits Misfits here, they can just leave that Corki for last pick.
Yeah.
They can counter pick the Rumble top, see what Vitality run, and decide if they want to opt into that matchup. I mean, Syndra's still up. Orianna's still up. A number of power picks.
I'm not expecting it, but of course there are every so often Tahm Kench top players. We saw it at the MSI play-ins. Saw a couple of games of Tahm Kench coming out as a bit of a special
pick. So technically what you're saying is...
Don't start this. Don't you start this.
I have one of the most fantastic stats, which I will tell you about in-game, Stress.
Great. I look forward to this.
The stats team has been feeding me those useless quick shot stats that only I love. There's a few guys in the audience shaking their heads going, oh, bugger.
He fights most of them, and then at some point goes, oh, okay, I'll use it.
Well, we'll find that number out a little later. Renekton into Rumble, there'll be no surprises there. It worked really well for Alfari in the last game, despite actually getting bullied at like level 3, level 4.
And look, we were talking about this a little bit here with the Tahm Kench, that Kled was banned away for some, reasons towards that side lane presence, not being able to catch up. But look, Tahm Kench, Renekton does the job just as well. If Renekton's in lane, you go in, land the Ruthless Predator, in comes the Tahm Kench, everything is great, and that is a pick that we don't see all that often out of Steelback himself with the Twitch. Played it one game this split so far.
I hope he doesn't pick QSS second. And we'll have a little bit more well-roundedness, if that's even a word, from the Orianna. And for Vitality, just, I think, a good combination. They've got some teamfight power, they've got some pick power, got a lot of wave clear, a lot of wombo combo if they get to a position where they can.
Yeah, and Misfits did give a couple of opportunities in the previous game, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the Corki locked in here. It gives them a lot of strength, as we saw in the fights, that you can just move around, make sure you can poke from a distance, and then land a couple of autos. Misfits have a pretty strong lineup, pretty similar, perhaps, to the last game. This Kalista maybe is the biggest departure. Of course, Lee Sin, Renekton, nothing new for the Misfits gaming top side.
No, very interested to see just how Misfits play this team composition out, and whether or not Steelback's Twitch is going to have a decent impact. He lost that game that he played last time, ended up going 1 kill, 2 deaths, 0 assists.
Ouch.
On the champion. Going to need to have a significantly better matchup this time round. However, I do like the idea of a roaming Twitch that could jump on a Renekton from behind, or could try to flank a Corki in the mid lane.
Yeah.
Combo that with the Rumble and the Orianna. There is some potential for insta-giving.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of teams utilizing that. Fnatic have done well with that playstyle, where you bring Twitch in from the side lane and get that kill, 2 versus 1, but that takes a lot of coordination, and that's been one of the weak points of Vitality, is when people are out on their own, they get picked off.
Yes.
So we need to see it work efficiently for Vitality here, and not just have them throw caution to the wind and go in aggressively.
Well, we need to see them go in. That's step 1. As Vitality are down 0-1 in the series, you saw the team comp some moments ago. If you have a Twitter account, jump onto Twitter, #EULCS, @LOL Esports, and let us know, is this #MSF win for the Power Bunnies, or is this #VIT win for the struggling Vitality?
And if you don't have a Twitter account, it's 2017, what are you doing? Get a Twitter account.
You should, and you should tweet us. It's Game 2 cross-group play. Misfits taking on Vitality. And it's story time as we wait for this game to warm up.
Ooh, okay.
Stress.
Yes.
Do you know that Power of Evil has a very exciting record?
Ooh, really?
That he is the #1 record holder in.
Interesting. Okay, tell me more, Trevor.
For 35 games in a row,
That's a lot of games.
Power of Evil has given up at least 1 death. And that previous game, because he died going for that pentakill, he continues that streak.
Ooh,
35
safe.
games. Do you want to know what the next death record is? The next person?
Tell me.
Mickey.
Okay.
With 20 games.
Ooh.
So what you can tell is, if you want to score fantasy points against anyone, Power of Evil is guaranteed to give you some fantasy points every single game. That's what it means. And that's my statory that I care about, that I'm very invested and interested in.
Is it 2 points for a kill?
It is indeed.
Wow, so you can chalk up 2 points if you're playing against Power of Evil in any week. That's going to be a winner. Right
Guaranteed. I did say a few people in the audience were shaking their heads. They continue to shake their heads.
I got booed by them last week, don't worry.
I know. But I've been there. They've not always been receptive to my story time. And well, maybe I need to get better stories. Maybe that's what it means. Maybe our stats team, Ica in particular, is giving us bad stories.
Wow, okay, you're just calling out our stats team by name.
No, just him. The rest of the team's great.
Ooh, interesting start here. So Vitality, sorry to cut you off on the stories, but Vitality setting up the red for a quick red take from Joko. So he only gets the small raptors. This is going to escalate and accelerate his early pathing. As is he going to head back, clear out this, and then look towards Rift Scuffler after? It's a little bit weird on the pathing. Does sacrifice the bottom lane for Steelback and Manda. I want to see what impact this actually has, though. Is there any tangible gain from Joko here?
Well, that's what we need to find out. Misfits were able to pick up first blood in the previous game, despite Joko historically being good at it. He's still struggling to find his form. Kha'Zix, early cheeky play, maybe that'll work.
So the reason he does it tangible gain is he didn't use Smite, Maxlord did. So it does give Joko the option if he wants to go and invade, wants to go and try and steal, it's quicker, but that's not what Joko is doing. You can see Ignar has gone up out of the lane to make sure that they can get a ward down, try and spot out any kind of aggressive play from Joko, but it's just ever so slightly faster on that next Smite usage, but it doesn't actually amount to much yet.
Concedes some control in the bottom lane. Hansama, a minor advantage. Joko's now going to finish his clear. Allow that red buff to tick over. Jumps on to Gromp. And I'm looking at the minimap. Maxlaw making his way to Gromp. So far, even Stevens?
Yeah, it's not a whole lot difference. Had Joker wanted to go mid lane or top lane early on, that's where we might have felt that quicker pathing actually be successful, but it doesn't really come out. We see teams do this every so often. You give that fast deletion. Sometimes it leads to a 10-second window where somebody's not expecting a gank, but that hasn't happened in this game.
And I'm looking at the mini-map. Misfits were pinging their own Krugs. You can see there's a ward that I believe Joker just hopped on top of. In fact, it's his ward. So he's going to make sure that's safe and available. By the way, while Vitality were making their way in, this little play, small advantage gold-wise, small advantage CS-wise. And Alfari, gonna see the Krug there and realize something fishy is going on.
Also manages to get a ward down on the exit path there as well. I mean, the heavy trade.
Exhaust is already used by PoE. A lot of mana burned through by Nutek and the Ghost. The command attack falls just short as Power of Evil is able to Valkyrie away. So they trade those utility summoner spells, the Ghost for the Exhaust.
Yeah, and Power of Evil's now out of Corrupting Potion stacks and Joko's around the mid lane, but look at the good job warding the Misfits have done. They know Joko is here, so Maxwell is just here to counter gank in the event that Joko goes aggressive into the lane, but they back away. Maxwell now going to try and secure some more of the jungle, gets the ward down just in time before Joko crosses through the bush, and no real information gained by Vitality, and Misfits are going back to the mid lane.
Nuke just wanted to ward Sonic Wave into Resonating Strike. Maxwell finds first blood!
Easy first blood just from the extra timing where he gets the ward down, spots Joko going through. Nothing really that Joko could have done at that point, because by the time he realizes that Maxwell is going into the lane, it is too late. Nuke late on the ward. Vitality punished in the mid lane. You can see Nuke knows something's up. The lane is pushing. He's like, okay, I'm going to ward it as it connects. The Q comes through from Maxlaw. First blood, easily done for Misfits.
Just great patience as well. Maxlaw kind of sort of waiting for that flash. Unfortunate for Maxlaw, for Nuke rather. He gives up first blood, loses his summoner spell in the trade, and Misfits just a nice early play.
Yeah, the importance there is the fact that Nuke knew. He knew Maxlaw had been there, but wasn't likely there anymore. And then Maxlaw turns out, no, he's actually standing right in that bush, right with an easy Q opportunity and no vision.
Well, Fari's still taking an absolute beating from Cabochard. A couple of changes to Rumble on this patch. Not going to affect his early trading. And of course, Rector needs some items before he can really go toe-to-toe with the little Yordle. This just means that Alfari is going to be happy to concede the early game, knowing he'll bounce back a little bit later.
But the problem that you have in this matchup is that obviously everybody talks about how Renekton's influence is lower. I want to see how Alfari compensates for that, because Cabochard has had his number now in both games, but Misfits trading heavily in the bottom lane.
Yeah, Hansama and Ignar. Definitely not afraid of Steelback and Vander, despite the death sentence connecting. Ignar's Devour just allowed him to continue the trade. We caught both teleports being used in the top lane, and a little earlier I talked about the death streak that Power of Evil is on. The previous game for Hansama, that was his 14th deathless game of EU LCS, so 0 deaths to his name. Great performance. It just tells you how far ahead his team was and how well they played on the front line.
And also gives you a lot of insight into some of the strengths in the last split, where Misfits did so well, and their AD carry didn't die, so it's not like he was running away from every fight, right? Whereas an AD carry that doesn't die, but the team's losing, probably just means you were just running away from fights.
Correct. You're talking to the number 4 team from the spring split.
Yeah.
While they did get crushed in that third place game against Fnatic, for a team fresh out of Challenger with some roster swaps, it was a good start to the year. It's been at least a few hours since we quoted the one-year plan for Misfits that Hussein spoke about, but it is something that as an organization, Misfits have said, we're aiming for Worlds.
Yep.
We want to get experience in spring. We want to be good in summer. And Maxlaw was the move that they made, despite how good Cacao was and the impact Cacao had on the Misfits game in spring.
Yeah.
They felt the potential with Maxlaw could be higher due to the communication benefits that he brings.
And Misfits getting a win over G2 may very well be one of the things that stamps a passport to China for Misfits right now. When you look at their emphasis on where they're putting priority, you've already got a win over one of the top teams in the group, a team that has the championship points to start building towards Worlds. So for Misfits, maybe they're trying to run the same kind of path as Splice did last year. They're a team that did exactly this. Came in spring, said, okay, we need a little bit more time, give us till the summer split, and suddenly everything came alive.
And one of those things that we talked a lot about in summer last year with Splice was the team growth and the fact that Yamato was leading them.
Yeah.
That was a team that 5 players became greater than their individual parts.
Oh, yes.
And let's not misrepresent summer last year. A lot of EU teams were struggling.
Sure.
We'll continue the story in a moment. Maxlaw's going to ward hop to safety. No flash available. The equalizer, not the direction you wanted. But Maxlaw gets taken down. As Nukeduck secures it, and he gets the red buff.
Didn't even matter that the equalizer was off point because they easily get the kill on Maxlawr. No flash from that early gank. And that means that finally Misfits are able to punish one mistake being made. You can see Joko's kind of been farming up heavily now, looking in for the mid lane here. Power Evil, no flash either.
Power Evil's going to go down. Shockwave into Dissonance. Easily picked up. Joko has no tower aggro yet. Ignar's looking to devour him. Joko's going to get Command Protect. The man that needs to carry for Vitality now has 2 kills.
Yes, that's exactly what Vitality needed, and this is the kind of opportunity they don't get often without giving away. So now we need to see Vitality hold on to this lead. We need to see them just kind of clench and make sure that they hold the lead in. Make sure everything goes their way.
Yes, and of course for Vitality, I was starting to get to the Yamato cannon point.
Yep.
We need to see Yamato Cannon have a bigger effect on the Vitality squad. Point out some of those mid-game mistakes. Maybe this team composition and this playstyle is the way to do it. Alfari's got Dominus and Flash. Slice, Dice, Flash, Vanda. Swing and a miss. But they get the flash out of Alfari and going to be a little slow to the tower. Misfits will get tower first blood.
Yeah, they'll get tower first blood, and that means Vitality kind of swap out of the lane that was not going well for them, try and just get something, get anything on the top side of the map. You can see Joko's already set up the Rift Herald for his team. Maxlaw's closing in as well, but no smite available. If Ignar can get there fast enough...
There's a package.
There's a package. Hang on.
There's a package. Look at Power of Eva. Oh, he's done it again. Another kill, this time comboed with Maxlawr. Come on, Shockwave, not available for Nukeduck. The equalizer burns Maxlawr. Power of Evil forced to flash away. Rift Herald was helping out Vitality. That's 2 kills for Vitality. Ignar delivers a gigantic crocodile to Vitality's back in. And the Fate Call knocks Cabo in the air. Steelback is the man that suffers the exhaust. Shockwave onto Alfari. Alfari dips and dives and ducks and dodges and survives. The pierce onto Nukeduck. He's running for his life. A dash, a stick, and Hans Sommer gets a triple.
Oh, Nukeduck desperately trying to turn around that engage, manages to take Ignar out on the backside, but okay, a lot happened over the last 30 seconds of that game. So Joko tries to set up the Rift Herald for the team, but it's an easy read for Misfits. They've seen this type of thing before. Ward over the wall. Joko tries to hop out, but the flash into the follow-up is an easy kill from the pair with the Thunderlord's Lee Sin as well. You can see from them, Misfits not quite able to deal with some of the damage that's coming through from Nukeduck, but look, they've dealt enough, they've done enough at this point, and here comes the Tahm Kench. This is why it was such a high priority for Misfits when it was available. You bring in Hans Sommer, you bring Ignar to the party, and then it's an easy takedown to finish the fight. Or is it because Ignar not quite strong enough to hold through the attack and the dissonance that comes through, doesn't pop the grey health, isn't really expecting it to kill him, but Hans Sommer with a triple kill.
And so much credit to Hans Sommer, flashing over that command attack as well. I think that would have killed him. I didn't quite see if the burst damage, how much of it connected, regardless of that fact. Misfits are in the lead. Power of Evil velts to safety. Nukeduck is ghosted up. There's a shockwave available to him. Does not pull the trigger. Stress. I'm glad to see a proactive Vitality. They went at Misfits, made the plays, and you see the gold from game 1? Because Vitality did not make plays, it allowed Misfits to just accelerate. That Mount Everest at the end, that was the Baron Power play.
Yeah.
That just accelerated the game. And this time around, Vitality are trying to get some shots back.
They are trying. They're definitely making proactive plays. The difficulty for them is they haven't been clean. And that's a lot to ask. And I know it sounds like now we're getting to a point where everything Vitality do, it looks like we're kind of downplaying. But look, when Vitality are making these plays and they're still behind. That's a dangerous point. Here's the Tahm Kench impact that we were talking about. They don't get the kill, and Vitality have to peel away from the Dragon, but still, I'm glad to see it. You're right on that. You're glad to see the plays actually being made.
And it is still even as far as gold is concerned, but the Rift Herald in Maxlaw's inventory and Infernal Drake under Misfits already.
Yep.
This could be a Smite Rend fight, which Misfits should win. Joko goes for it, and that is what you expect. The Rend, it doesn't make it 50-50, closer 60-40, 70-30. You've just got much higher bursts.
Yeah, a lot easier to just take that down. Maxlaw didn't have his Smite, so they were relying only on the Rend coming from Hans Sama, but gets the timing down, gets that kill onto the Infernal Drake. That's a second Infernal Drake by the looks of things coming out for Misfits. That's, I mean, when you look at the amount of damage they already have on their lineup, now you've got that extra 16% AD and AP. How are you going to deal with that?
I don't know if you can.
No.
That's the problem. But Vitality are at least giving more of a fight here to Misfits. So map is opening up, 4 towers down. There is a Twitch on the side of Vitality, so steal that. Where are you going? You've not picked up a QSS second item, which I'm happy to see.
Not yet.
Not yet. Touche. Touche. It's a matter of time. And if you look at the wards, by the way, which the observers are highlighting, Vitality have got a lot of vision inside this right-hand quadrant from Misfits, so they can play around any positional moves that Misfits are setting up.
Yeah, they can, but the play that they have to play around is Maxlaw, who's about to activate the Eye of the Herald, because, like, he's got the control ward, he knows nobody can see him, and he's running out of time. If he doesn't do it now, Misfits won't have anything really able that they can do with this Rift Herald play. He doesn't actually activate it yet. Can't be too much longer on that timer.
And of course, into the Orianna, it's one of our favorite ways of breaking the Orianna mid-tower defense. Maxlaw, the channel, man.
They're waiting for Power of Evil's package.
Got it.
They need the package to arrive. That's what they want to go with. Looks like there's a combo, but...
All right, Rift Herald
still unactivating.
Not pulling the trigger. It's been a long delay. Maxlaw and the rest of Misfits dilly-dallying around the mid lane. But maybe for good reason, okay? Power of Evil's rocked up. He's got the passive package. He's got Trinity Force completed.
They're trying to set up a pincer with the Rift Herald and the package.
Okay, who is the target? Power of Evil. Package underneath that fakes call. Not going to be enough. And Vanda with the hero play again. Pierce this time around unable to find Nuke Duck. And here she comes with a gigantic headbutt. Death sentence onto PoE, the Flay as well. Valkyrie into the Devour. Joko was caught and devoured and spat out. That's a great ward hop for Maxlaw. Sets up another kill for Power of Evil. Cabo Shot's been able to arrive and he is able to burn down Misfits. Ignores the target. He flashes defensively. Alfari's now on the front line. He's looking for steal back. The AoE damage is immense. And the shockwave catches onto Hans Sama. Devour saves his life. These fights are messy. PoE looks for the big one. Cabo Shot flashes away and the tower survives the exchange.
Everybody's so low on Vitality. But what it results in is the fact Power of Evil will sit around in this middle lane because nobody can afford to defend against him. He will be able to get this tower down. Misfits threw everything at the tower, and Vitality with a good defense for the majority of it just couldn't quite weaken Misfits enough to finish out a fight. But you see the AoE damage once again coming from this Corki. It was a good shockwave on Hans Sama that really stopped a lot of this fight going through, and Igna playing bodyguard for a lot of the members of Misfits, holding them alive. Kick goes on to Joko to start it off. That should theoretically give Misfits the numbers, but look, in comes Cabashot. Equalizer burns down Maxlaw along with the poison, and then Igna isn't healthy enough yet. Look at how much damage he took just before activating that grey health, and now just the poke alone would be enough, but with Hans Sama getting shockwave, Power of Evil tries to flash to get a little bit of extra damage through, but can't quite connect to get the kills. Means that it's just the tower at the end of that fight going towards Misfits.
Yeah, and Misfits just extend that lead. A few thousand gold, another tower in the advantage. And just before this next setup, I want to quickly remind everybody that Rift Rival tickets go on sale tomorrow, 5 p.m. Central European Summertime. That's here in Berlin, Germany. See the absolute best teams in North America and EU do battle, as well as Phoenix One. And games will start in about 2 weeks' time. Thank you for those of you that caught that one.
Ouch.
Of course, we'll be seeing Fnatic a little later today. they will, of course, be representing Europe.
Don't make Ryu mad. He's coming back. You want Ryu face over?
How would you know if he's mad? Ryu space, no face. We can welcome him back, but this time as an enemy. As an enemy to Europe and the EU LCS.
Ouch. Wow, that's some propaganda starting up here.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if Huni and Rainover had come back in a NA versus EU matchup when they were playing on the same squad?
No, because they didn't do well enough to be in that kind of position.
Just like Misfits at the moment are now continuing to push into Vitality territory. Stress.
One of them now plays on SKT. I can't really say they're not doing well enough.
Sonic Wave onto Steel back. But not going to be following through. Maxlaw not suffering from the syndrome that afflicts so many Lee Sin players.
But Hans Sama is just going to take that red buff. He doesn't mind what's going on with everybody else. It's an easy rend for him. Misfits. I was going to say, looking for a play. There was a lot of chatter going on in the studio here. Oh, Nuke Duck's caught.
Nuke Duck's dead.
That was clean.
That just looked really good. Well, really good.
That's why Tahm Kench is banned in Game 1, and that's why Misfits take it in Game 2 in Phase 1. And I mean, any team that is good playing around Tahm Kench will look very quick, clean, swift, whatever word you want to use to describe it, but their enemies will fall very quickly.
And Misfits at 20 minutes will secure their 3rd dragon, and lo and behold, it's an Infernal. Stress, things are getting hot in here, if you will. And this was what all the yelling was for on stage.
Yeah. Oh, easy kick. Easy kick onto Nuke Duck. And just, there's no way he can survive from that. Didn't have flash available, tried to ghost his way out. Shockwave didn't even finish the animation, so it didn't go on cooldown. And that's how they're punishing this, you know, fed Orianna, is just go in behind it with a Tahm Kench, get the kill, easy. Orianna's off the board. Suddenly, Cabochard and Steelback have a lot to pick up when it comes to that slack in a team fight.
And what I love about that type of engage is just the versatility that Misfits comp can offer. If Maxlaw is inside Ignar's belly, you can get a kickback on a priority target, and then he can kind of dash to safety. If you want to deliver Alfari to the back line, then Alfari can run amok with his ultimate and eventually will look towards that Gargoyle Stone Plate, become unkillable. And you can just pull Ignar out, thanks to the Callista. Send him back in for more CC. So there's a lot of ways in which Misfits can engage and use that Abyssal Voyage. And that's why they've got themselves a 3,000 gold lead, and I'm expecting to see more of it as they can push this further.
And while it's not the same setup as their performance against G2 when you look at the Ashe, the Thresh, those kind of picks, it's the same clean team fighting that we're seeing out of Misfits. When the crowd control gets layered, it works well. Igna into Maxlaw is working very well. Alfari locks down the team fight, and suddenly Misfits... No one saw that. It's all right. It's a moving target. It sways in the wind.
Oh man, the simplest shots are sometimes the hardest to connect. Power of Evil was the man that was delivered by the Abyssal Voyage, and he's going to use the package. Teleport completes from Alfari. Vitality are split up, and this fight is a little messy. Cabochard running from the river. He cancelled his teleport. It's on cooldown. Shockwave is available to Nuke Duck, and the re-engage is on the cards as Vitality look to sting.
Yeah, Misfits with a bit of a reach there, trying to get on to Nuke Duck. However, here we go.
Fate's Call is going to connect. Shockwave only catches Ignar. It's a support for support. 4-on-4, and Hans Sama needs to be careful. Power of Evil's low and down. That's the kick. Maxlaw finds Nuke Duck. Hans Sama takes him out. So far, it's mid laner for mid laner. Let's see which lane will sacrifice themselves next on the next episode of Vitality versus Misfits.
It's a good trade for Misfits. It's actually a good trade, for Vitality, because they were able to neutralize Misfits going towards the Baron. Vitality are now able to push the mid lane in, and what should have been a pretty precarious position actually ends up going against Misfits. They looked for the engage, couldn't find Nuke Duck, and even trades with the tower going over towards Vitality was stemming some of this bleeding.
Let's take a look at... This is now the second half of the fight.
Yeah, and this is where you got to watch it, because Maxlaw still had kick available. They go aggressive onto Vander. Damage comes down, and this is it. Shockwave. Ignar doesn't even get to finish, or at least cast the Grey Health coming through. on that thick skin. Maxlow gets gifted the way in, but has to flash onto Nukeduck to make sure that they can pick up that kill, and then it's a 1-for-1 trade. Vitality pushed down the tower, and that could be what builds them back into the game.
All right, it's still a 2,000 gold game. Damage difference between the top laners. One of the biggest impacts, that equalizer really cutting off Misfits' retreat or re-engage options. But Stress, as we're 25 minutes in and more AD, more AP is being built, the triple Inferno is really going to be paying dividends here for Misfits.
Yeah.
Because they just want to keep fighting. And we've had some of the more chaotic fights that we've seen between these two squads, which is exciting for me. And very interesting to see how Misfits play them.
You know what else you might find exciting?
Tell me.
The streak
Continues. You know, I'm so glad you bring that up, Stress, because 36 games in a row, Power of Evil has guaranteed a death. Baron will be secured really easily here by Misfits. And the Shockwave not pulled yet. Hansama gets pulled and is shut down. A solo kill. As Misfits unable to get away. Hansama had flash and he still got caught by that one. He was expecting the Devour to maybe be more valuable in that scenario.
Well, the Devour looked like the animation started, but it wasn't quite enough. I guess we'll end up taking another look at that one, but we asked Nukeduck to output damage. We asked Steelback to start performing. In this game, more so than any we've seen recently, they actually are starting to step up to the plate. And as we take another look at this replay, this is the tail end of the Baron fight. Nukeduck just walks in, says, okay, I've got 5 kills. Let's see what we can get. So Kalista pulls him in.
Yeah, Shockwave could have been flat. Ooh, that's the W.
Ooh, that was close timing.
Yep, good play there by Nukeduck. Sorry, Stassin, can you confirm how many games have Hansama played this year for me? 54 games for Hansama. 14 of those he's gone deathless. And unfortunately, because he died right there, this will not be number 15. Thank you, Stats team. Vitality take Baron off. 2 members of Misfits. They even out the kills, Stress. And this is now where they need to defend against a team that really does know how to use Baron well.
You're full of it sometimes, Trevor. That's like when a kid, like, you give a small kid that played telephone from like the early learning, whatever it is, and the dad goes, oh, hello, it's for me. Yeah, I'm talking into the phone. This is how a phone works.
But I was talking to someone, I promise. They really did talk to me. It's not just voices in my head.
Sure. Okay. Understand. Okay. Fair. Well, I'll give you that one. But
well, you can't prove it, so it's fine.
I am glad I can't prove it. But what I can prove is Ignar knows how to play Tahm Kench.
All right. Steelback is currently invisible. Will get spotted out. Sidestepped everything. And that spray and pray means Steelback turns it around. 4, 1, and 2. And after all the criticism of game 1, Steelback laughs in your face. Vitality have the kill streak and it disappoints a Misfits fan in the audience. That was the ultimate facepalm. And is this how Vitality mount their comeback?
This would be exactly that, as long as they just continue along this path where you look at the way Steelback could punish that play. 1 versus 2. Misfits thought they had the engage, couldn't quite get it. Maxlow didn't have flash, couldn't get on for the kill, and I said Ignar knows how to play Tahm Kench. Like, he got that bit. But then Steelback just is so strong when you look at this Twitch, able to kite back around. Maxlow leaves Ignar for dead and just goes, oh, okay, we don't want this one anymore.
And by the way, thanks to that kill, it is now allowed Steelback to complete his Infinity Edge. Blade of the Rune King, Eye Edge, Hurricane. Now I'm going to let you build a defensive item, Steelback. You've got enough damage to work with. There are some concerned faces off-screen by the Misfits support staff. And Ignar takes a lot of damage. Joker and PoE go toe-to-toe. The package is used. And look at the crit! The long-range spatula serves Joko up on a platter. Shockwave is available for Nukeduck if he needs it. Another crit. Look at the Eye Edge Rapid Fire Cannon Triforce. Power of Evil goes down and the Shockwave was not used, nor was the Equalizer. If Misfits overchase, Vitality can turn it around.
They can, and Nukeduck may very well have Hansama closing in on him, but Hansama backs away. Look, Misfits want to reset this exchange. They don't want to get caught out like they just did against Steelback. Because as long as they can get these damage threats when nobody else is there, Misfits can actually close out fights very quickly. But if Steelback is given the ability for people to peel for him, Nuke Duck lands that shockwave, that's where Vitality's team fighting is so much stronger.
Good death sentence by Vanda, but it doesn't equate to anything. Another Baron power play, this time significantly different. Because, of course, Misfits lost multiple members. And Vitality, good number of exchanges.
Yeah, so Paraveal knows he can win this straight through the exhaust.
Look at the spatula. Boom.
A lot of damage from that crit. Yeah, I was going to go somewhere else on that, but didn't think it was safe for broadcast at that point. And it wasn't safe for Paraveal to be in the jungle afterwards. Kabashar just comes in, picks him off, and we're getting to the point where everybody is so strong that given the space and time, like Steelback can kill everyone, Nuke Duck can kill everyone, Paraveal can. Hansama has shown somewhat of a reluctance to move forward in these fights, and that's something I want to watch as the next few fights unfold.
Yeah, exactly. Steelback, however, is going to use an ambush onto Ignar. Grey Health and Fate's Call is used. Ignar fires himself to safety. Look at the minimap. Misfits are split up. It's a 1-3-1. Power of Evil is not having the same performance he did in game 1. And in terms of itemization, this Infinity Edge 4th is going to be fairly delayed. But Stress, the thing that comes to my mind, after the heavy criticism we levied at Vitality, their play style has adjusted for this game. They aren't being more proactive. They are looking to start fights. And importantly, they're punishing Misfits over-engage.
Yes.
They are still behind, but I don't think it is significant enough at this time in the game.
I think gold-wise it's not significant enough, but those 3 Infernal Drakes stand out in the back of your head. I agree that Vitality are looking stronger than the last game. They're giving the Misfits more of a fight. You can see it has heavily been favored for Misfits over the last 15 minutes of this game. Only a small duration that Vitality were actually ahead. Not the largest gold lead either, but this is the kind of thing that at least gives you a little bit of confidence, a little bit of hope looking at the Vitality lineup for some of the matchups they're going to have in the coming weeks. I mean, you put this Vitality against, you know, a NiP lineup or maybe a Roccat lineup. I still think Roccat probably have the edge, but I have more confidence in Vitality on that than I do Mysterious Monkeys pre the changes.
Yep, I agree with that, and I think it'll be interesting to see how Vitality handle this late game now. We're definitely heading in that direction.
Yeah.
Vitality have struggled in all of their other series. They only got 2 wins under their belts. That was against Mysterious Monkeys, so it must be another game win. Vanda winds up the death sentence, but a devour from Ignar. He's going to keep Paraveal alive. Okay, another proactive play. Misfits have been bitten in the butt before. Death sentence between the uprights. Not going to be a goal. Maxwell will find it. It's onto Vanda. That's not one of the carries. Fate's Call will buy some time. Alfari is being burned alive. Alfari is roasted alive. It's Steelback that poisons him. Now Nuke Duck's the target. The shockwave's available. Spatulas to the face. Take him down. Hansama is leaping, hopping, using that martial cadence. The ring and Pierce take down Steelback. Hansama is in a 1-on-2. And he's got to be very, very careful. Another messy team fight.
Important shutdown at the end of that fight as Hansama took out Steelback, and Maxlaw tried to get into the fight. He could only find Vanda because as Maxlaw went in, Steelback disappeared from vision for a split second and Maxlaw could not connect. Otherwise, that would have been horribly worse for Vitality, but Misfits, considering its 3 Infernals, considering their lead, come out with just a couple of scratches and bruises at the end of this fight, and they're not able to connect with the Baron afterwards. So look at this engage coming out from Maxlaw. Misses the first Q, can't go in, tries to go aggressive, only can get Vanda on the angle, and then from there, Steelback locked in the side, can't quite do much more at first, and then is able to open up this damage into the rest of the fight. Look at the damage coming from Power of Evil, though. There is no way to stop that man if he gets a bunch of autos out. And from here, damage from Maxlaw to even up the fight, some from Hansama just to get that shut down. And overall, the numbers go to Vitality, but Misfits hang on with the lead. And I told you that last week, Steelback statistically was the least efficient AD carry in terms of damage output. That does not hold true when he's playing Twitch.
Yep, this is the game. He's starting to show up. Good damage onto Maxlaw. Do you believe Vitality can turn this around? They are still trailing in objectives and gold. But their team fights are working. And what's been beautiful about this game is you've seen how well the Misfits composition can work when we've seen those Tahm Kench engages and kicks. And then we've also seen how bad they can be. Flash away from the shockwave, but Steelback almost 2 shots. The Misfits backline. Hans Summer takes down Steelback at the cost of Maxor and maybe Alfari. Joko tastes his fear and sends him to the fountain. It's a 1 for 2, and that's what we're talking about. The complexities of the engage.
But look at it, 40 seconds on Maxlaw. They got Steelback, yes, but nobody else on Misfits can really punish Vitality right now. But Hans Summer had a Guardian Angel, so he at least felt more confident being in the front of the fight, but Vitality only lose 1 member. And Misfits don't get heavily punished. Vitality don't rush towards the Baron. Maybe that would be a bit of a mistake. They got vision control off the back end of this fight, but look, aggressive play. Was actually looking for Nuke Duck, but saw Steelback. Maxlaw gets the kick. Everything looks good for Misfits, but then Power of Evil already at the back of the fight. Low. Alfari, low. Ignar, no Devour cooldown available means Vitality can just walk forward and get an extra kill for themselves.
Yeah, they really can. 18 kills in favor of Vitality at 35 minutes. Vamp Scepter picked up for Steelback. He's gone the opposite of defensive. Gonna go for another offensive item. Whereas Hans Summer, as you mentioned already, Stress, got that GA available. Power of Evil working still towards his Infinity Edge. We've not seen that Void Staff yet, which is something that we see in solo queue a little bit with the changes to Corki. And as we go down the list, not a lot of control wards. Inventories are starting to get full, and you know what? These teams don't care about the objectives, they just want to fight.
It's fun to watch with these two, but at the same time, you can see how sloppy it can be. Joko gearing up in that middle lane by the looks of things, but it's just Vitality pushing the tower through. And this game has not been about the towers so much. Only 4 for Misfits, 3 for Vitality. Maxlaw's still trying to go, but he's on a ward here. He's just not able to get into the back of the fight. Look how far back Steelback actually is.
Look at the minimap again. Misfits have been a little bit more willing to push those side lanes out. Maybe not diligent about it, but we've seen them a little more frequently. Going back, shoving the wave out. Alfari with teleport available. He's going to push that lane down, and we're just setting ourselves up. ARAM mode means a team fight is going to hit at some point.
Yeah, at some point, and the team fight is going to hinge on Steelback living or dying. And Power of Evil, whether he stays alive with all of his damage being actually useful, because the last fight he had to kind of back away. He was so incredibly low. And this is, remember, one of the areas where Misfits struggled in spring. When they started their downfall was actually making plays in more even games was a real struggle. With Kakao, that's why they subbed out Kakao, put in Maxlaw. And I don't feel like they've shown us that in every single game that they've struggled, but you can see how Misfits feel burned by the last engage on them. They don't want to just go aggressive into the fight, despite having 3 Infernal Drakes and the lead.
I just wish it happened a few engages earlier, because Misfits have been counter-engaged multiple times. Alfari's actually flashed in for the stun. Fate's Call as well. Steelback is exhausted. He's the target. The Death Sentence catches onto Ignar. The Devour allows them to kill Steelback, but Power of Evil goes down. Nuke gets another onto Ignar. Where is Hans Summer? He has to be the carry. He has to be the damage. Misfits are running for their lives. Another 1 for 2 in favor of Vitality.
And you talk about how Hans Summer has to be the carry. Well, he doesn't quite have the positioning available. Without Ignar, he doesn't feel confident. Despite having a Guardian Angel, he can't push forward in these fights because he is still squishy. And Vitality are breaking this game back into their favor.
Oh, this is going to be a gigantic advantage for Vitality. Maxlaw
kicks up.
Dragon's Rage is up, but it's a 2-on-4 in the best case scenario. He's not going to go for the engage. The huge minion wave on the bottom lane, pushing onto the Vitality base. And
Vitality can't all recall here. If they all recall, then Hans Sama and Maxwell will go to Baron, and you won't be able to stop it. Ignar has his ultimate available too. They may still just rush this down. Look, Twitch will show in the bottom lane, and that's going to be enough for a blast cone over the back. Misfits know they have the positioning. Vitality are making a critical error, and it is all on Joko for a smite steal against Kalista. Likely not going to happen.
No, it's not. Joko not going to be enough. Oh no! He's taken down. Misfits. Oh, they punish a mistake that I cannot believe I am still seeing. And on this stage, in this environment, Misfits, Baron on 5.
Vitality, most of them recall out. It's one of the most punishing things that a team can set themselves up for is when you withdraw all control against a team, especially with the Kalista. But this was a fight. Look, Alfari knows if he just stuns Steel back, then he can say his job was done in this fight as long as the rest of the Misfits clean up that kill. But as you said, Parabeetle dies in this fight, and that's the significant point here because it is a 2-for-1. But Vitality, push up, get the inhibitor, and then take the eye off the prize. If anybody else sticks around with Joko just to get vision control, maybe they don't lose that Baron. It's still, Misfits are going to rush for it, but maybe they don't lose it quite so easily.
Well, Misfits have regained control of the match, nearing 40 minutes. At 20 kills on the board, Vitality have now scored more kills in a single game since Spring Week 2, okay? That match was against Origin, and they got 27 kills in that game. Now, you can take that as a good or a bad thing, that they have gotten that many in this game, but it is not over yet. Misfits need to use Baron to try and break open the base, and there is a lot of territory to break through. Vitality are not done yet.
And a reminder that Vitality in Group B last split, Origin were the only team that they could consistently beat. The same thing seems to be happening this year when Ninjas in Pajamas are in the other group. Mysterious Monkeys were the team that they could consistently beat, but now Mysterious Monkeys have made changes. When we go back into intergroup play, we'll have to see how that ends up going. That's a few weeks away. We still need to see how Vitality can do against Group A for now.
Well, we do indeed, and as we've got so late into the game, 2 Knights Vows have been picked up. Just another reminder and some of the changes. It is, of course, Vander and Ignar that have picked those up. No longer grant the health regen, a little bit additional cooldown reduction, and that's crucial when you think of the death sentences and the lanterns, and more importantly, the devours and the abyssal voyages for Misfits and Ignar.
A lot of things benefit from cooldown reduction.
All abilities, I think. It's
funny that
that
you're
way.
naming them, and then I'm like, oh, that's a lot of things.
A lot of things indeed.
I love how we were talking about the diversity in support itemization, and then you get into a game and everybody buys the same item, and then log it, and then Knight's Vow, and then we'll see what happens next. See where they go next.
See how they mix up the builds, if at all.
Now I swear you go Warmogs just to make sure you get the most out of the locket with that health scaling.
That would be fantastic. Alfari, by the way, is able to break open the base. That's the first open window onto the inhibitor.
And we're getting a game long enough to make the point about Gargoyle, Stoneplate, and Locket of the Iron Solari. So the way Locket now works is you scale off your maximum health plus bonus health on the shield that you apply to your teammates. So if you stand in between the enemy team, hit Gargoyle, Stoneplate, get 100% bonus health, you get like 5k health, you pop a Locket, everybody gets a 2,000 health shield in the perfect scenario. That, of course, means you need to be next to all the enemy team and next to all of your team. But it works in combination fantastically.
Stress, this game is the perfect storm to see that happen.
It is.
Because there's a Tahm Kench that will deliver Alfari to the wrong place, surrounded by the entire team, allowing the Gargoyle, Stoneplate plus Locket benefit to pay off.
It's so disgusting. You can basically out-shield a Rumble ult. If your team is...
How about you out-shield a Shockwave?
That would be fun. That would be nice.
That's exactly... You know what? This is next level. Hans Summer and PoE will say, you know what, Alfari? We trust you to hit number 3 and number 4, whatever your item slots are, and then we'll just eat the Shockwave and then we'll win the fight,
We'll
right?
win the fight. They trust him so much, they'll be next game, just play Windspeaker's Blessing. But Steelback found Maxwell.
He has indeed. Puts a lot of damage down before he's forced to run away. The rest of Misfits have given up positioning in this mid lane. And Vitality They've got an open inhibitor, remember. They've already had super minions pouring into Misfits' base, trying to set up to do it again. Maxwell has a flanking opportunity as Earth signals his intent and damage. Vitality are on the inhib.
Yeah, Vitality, though, they know that they at least have one of their flanks covered for now, and they can't quite push up towards the base. Misfits are going to just back them out. And again, we go to what is a surprising game where Misfits have a 7,000 gold lead, 3 Infernal Drakes, an Ocean Drake, a Cloud Drake, and are on the back foot, which is something you don't often see, but Vitality playing with a confidence that we have not seen out of them in a long time, based around the fact that Twitch, that Orianna are actually strong in this game. They are significantly fed to the point where they can win a team fight, just the two of them, if they can connect with their damage.
And they've done that multiple times. It was a couple of team fights in a row where Steelback was able to wreck Misfits. 13 of the 20 kills he was involved in. Fortunately for Steelback, Misfits found a way to get to him a couple times as well.
Yeah, and unfortunately, next time they do, it's going to hurt, because that's an 865 Corki that does have Infinity Edge and does have that Void stuff that we were talking about. So this is going to really hurt when Power of Evil starts attacking people. It's already been strong enough. This might just be the icing on the cake.
Yeah, Guardian Angel picked up for Joko, so he fancies a little bit more of a shot, but look at that spatula. I need to stop saying spatula. I was very invested in the Earth Rider Corki skin. Power of Evil keeps getting crit after crit. And you know what? You know what I love about this game?
What do you love about this game?
We've gone back in time, all right?
Okay.
We've gone back in time, and we're going to have ourselves a good old-fashioned Baron dance. At 45 minutes in, 37 kills so far. We are unfortunately quite far off the kill record. The kill record was Origin versus Rocker, 54 kills in a single game.
I hate to disappoint you. I don't think it's going to be much of a Baron dance. I think it's going to be a Vitality go to start Baron, and then Alfari presses TP. Power of Evil just picked up the package, so Misfits are going to engage very soon. And if Vitality don't put themselves in a defensive situation, they will get punished. But Misfits do not have vision on the Baron. So if they start... Oh, they did just secure some. Now Misfits are looking to go for the aggressive play here. Tam Kenshin from behind.
All right, Ignor's coming from behind with Power of Evil. Joko's on the front line. All 5 members of Vitality are grouped up. Power of Evil's down. It's a 5-on-4. Joko's the target as Maxwell has found Steelback. Look at the damage to Shockwave. The Shockwave connects, but Hansama does not care. Misfits have got 3 Nuke Ducks running for his life, and Joko is just left alone in the river. His Guardian Angel brings him back to life, and that was a team fight victory for Misfits.
Yeah, and I think Alfari connected on that shield. I want to watch that fight again in slow motion, because both Stoneplate and Locket of the Iron Solari are on cooldown at the same time. And you saw how good that Shockwave should have been. It looks like Misfits just weathered through all of the damage coming through. There was a lot happened, and we will take another look at that. But Hansama on the end of it has the damage. Blade of the Ruined King, he's got 5-6 items, no boots, into the Phantom Dancer, plus everything else combination. And Misfits, we talked about how it would be Vitality that could team fight, but at this point, Misfits just hold on through and easily crush through that fight.
It's a 10,000 gold lead. It's Baron. There's 5 dragons for Misfits. Elder Dragons coming up. If anybody has Misfits as a team in fantasy, this is doing you wonders. So, let's keep our eyes on Alfari.
Yeah, well, this, first of all, is a little bit of an aggressive play with Power of Evil coming through here. He actually ends up on the blast cone and I believe takes it by mistake. So I'm looking at Alfari as to when he pops the locket. I believe it may have activated there, but look, Hansama just able to jump into the fight, gets caught, and a massive amount of shielding comes through again from, I believe, Ignar on that fight. Then the redemption comes through, and despite losing Power of Evil by him blast coning himself into the enemy team accidentally, Misfits still are able to hold on.
Man, Vitality, you have to rewind. The fact they gave up that first Baron, completely blind, completely for free. By recalling. That's what got Misfits back into this game.
Yeah, and Vitality realistically should have had full control. They should have been in a situation where they were closing this game out. The inhibitor was already down in their favor. But Misfits, these Infernal Drakes have done so much work in keeping them in the game.
So much benefit from Misfits. Vanda takes a couple of shots. Doesn't fire the death sentence. All right, Elder Dragon is just spawning into the pit. We're gonna set ourselves up 5v5. Remember, the kill record is 54. Alfari's on the front line. He gets devoured up as Ignar's caught by the death sentence. Alfari pops right back out. Don't think he's used that shield yet.
He has not used it yet. And Elder Drake will reset with all of those Ren stacks inside. Ignar has his ultimate available, so he can, if needs be, cross to the fight quickly. Of course, has Home Guard as well coming back through. Misfits are going to back themselves away. And Vitality, I mean, this is an insanely powerful Elder Drake if this goes over to Misfits. Like, can you imagine 3 Infernals, 5 total Dragons, amplified then by the Elder Drake?
I mean, that would be the
That's
GG.
disgusting.
Sonic Wave onto Cabo shot. Maxwell doesn't follow it through, but look at that. QW onto PoE. He's got Ninja Tabai. That's not going to help you against all of the magic damage that Nukeduck has put together, and this could open up Elder Dragon if Vitality wanted to.
This time around, though, GA on Power of Evil, of course, now synergizes better for more damage to come through. It's meant to be a marksman item. Well, Corki's a mid-lane AP marksman, basically, at this point. So, Ren stacks. Stacking up for Hans Sama. Oh, Elder Drake actually resets Vitality.
Yeah, by some time, this damage onto Ignar. The death sentence pulled him forward. Maxwell's looking for a target. His Joker's on the front line. There are so many Ren stacks on that Elder Dragon. The smite is going to have to be godlike. It's picked up by Misfits. Elder Dragon secured. No shockwave damage means Misfits maintain control.
Hans Sama over 2,000 damage with that.
Whoa! Steel back destroys the GA of Hans Sama. Vitality bait and outsmart Misfits. Alfari throws down the Gargoyle Stone Plate and buys a few seconds of time. But all Vitality get is one single kill.
But is it enough to slow down Misfits? Because look, Misfits just pick up the Elder. They have to deal with topside. They're pushing back the wave. They are delaying everything Misfits want to do. Remember, Misfits had Baron. That is now gone. They have Elder. It will fall before Baron comes back up, and that is the opportunity for Vitality to hold on. I believe it's just over 2,500 that gets rendered down by Hans Sama, and Misfits look like they just don't focus on clearing out the ward here. Double recall comes through, Steelback sneaks through, and easy to take out that Guardian Angel, but Vitality don't push even further forward. They don't have a read on Ignar. They knew it just recalled, and then they just take Alfari out and back themselves away.
Oh man, Vitality, they're not giving up. They've not conceded this game. They are still behind. We are into the longest game of the summer split at 50 minutes. Thank you, crowd. That is a record we've broken. I like the claps. Remember, 54 kills is the kill record we're going for. And around 80 minutes, the dream is the game record. If these teams continue to be so sheepish with playing the map. But I don't believe we're truly late game until I see a ZZ Rot portal.
That's very true. That's the moment where you know you're late game, and there's a Zeke's Convergence coming through for Ignar, trying to just power up a little bit, get a little bit of extra cooldown, extra resistance, all of that stuff.
And throw that storm onto his allies' autos. 280 carries on the side. That's going to be hugely beneficial. Once he uses his ultimate. But look at Misfits. Elder Dragon's going to be wearing off fairly soon. The base is still available. And Steelback has sold his boots. So we're going to the epic 6-item territory. So let's see how much gold these guys have. 3,000 for Hunt Summer. We're getting close to that time. And how the hell do you play this late game, Stress?
Well, you basically try not to make any mistakes around Baron, or anywhere, really, because we're well into the point where these Guardian Angels... Look, Hans Sama sold his GA that was on cooldown to buy Asterix Gauge, so just trying to keep himself a little more alive. A little more alive, just not quite dead. Still has 1,000 gold in his inventory, but we talk about not making mistakes, like recalling on a ward. That was the mistake Misfits made that has slowed their game down. And that Elder Drake is just about expiring, I believe. May even have just expired.
There's one thing that's very important to note.
Okay.
Look at all of the Misfits' vision in the bottom and left-hand quadrants of the map. While Vitality is being highlighted now, anywhere Misfits want to try and punish Vitality falling back, they'll have a few extra options. That Abyssal Voyage, that teleport, and there's a minion wave. I believe that's pushing to the bottom inhibitor here in favor of Misfits.
But the key place they don't have vision yet was on Baron Pit. They did just place one blue trinket in. It was Hans Sammers, so they know that they're not starting it yet. That gives Misfits the ability to move as a team. Look at how Ignar blocks on the way through to make sure they can clear out the vision. You mentioned the Zeke's convergence. The difficulty for Ignar is that ultimate may not always be used.
Look at Steelback! Look at Steelback! He's stunned and caught up! He's got no GA, but Max slows down! Misfits may have lost the fight! Alfari's trying to do what he can! Hans Sammers on the front line! That's a double kill for Steelback! He's looking for the triple! Ignar is the target, and Cabochon takes him down! Misfits may have lost the game! Power of Evil not gonna find Nitek, and Hans Sammer will get just the GA from Joko. Look at the Lantern coming up for visibility. As Power of Evil and Hans Sammer start to recall, Shockwave misses, and Vitality look for the inhib.
Hans Sammer, of course, doesn't have a Guardian Angel. Power of Evil does, but he needs this recall to complete. Nobody has vision on him. TP coming through. If Vitality try and overpush this, there is a significant amount of damage left on the Misfits lineup. They have to be very, very careful not to eat the poke.
Look at the mini-map. There is a minion wave of Misfits down in that bottom lane. Hans Sammer's down! There's no one left to defend but Power of Evil. He's got a Guardian Angel. He's going to find Vander. The Nexus turret starts to fall. Power of Evil looks for Joko. He's using the exhaust. The Nexus is the target, and Vitality force a game 3.
Vitality have taken everything that has been criticized of them, and in one game show us that it isn't always true. Significant amounts of damage coming out from Steelback and the rest of Vitality's team composition that, quite frankly, delayed Misfits to a point where Orianna and Twitch can just dominate the late game fights.
Oh, I love games like that. They end on 48 kills. 54 minutes. No, it's not the prettiest of League of Legends, but it is hella entertaining. And the two guys we talked so much about, Nuktak, who's on the Talia, who's on a utility pick in game 1, didn't really help his team out, couldn't help his team out. And Steelback, man, he silenced some critics with this Twitch, 10, 5, and 8.
Yeah, that was the best performance we've seen from Steelback this split. Maybe even of the year. Just in case of, in the sense of putting out damage, on this Twitch, the pick is useful for it. He outputs so much damage in the team fights, and finally, Vitality can say, okay, now maybe we can start getting some more wins like this.
Well, they find their 3rd game win of the split. Let's see if they can make it their 2nd series. Vitality stay alive in the series. Shocks, break it down for us.
We will, and we got a bit of a discussion point going on here on the desk because Steelback's best game of the year, maybe, probably, yeah. But you guys were saying he didn't actually play it that perfectly, and you want to give a bit more praise to Nuktak instead. I don't know if we should get into this conversation straight away, but say something about it, guys.
Well, I personally think that a lot of these fights was so much more about Nuktak and the pressure he actually brought from the Orianna. Not only in the fight itself, but also just before the fight would even happen. He would get some super good, poke damage onto Misfits that would actually allow Vitality to get further into the game as well. And I think also the early game was just more Nuktak doing well that actually allowed this team to not just lose the game in 29, 30 minutes.
Yeah, Nuktak and Joko had some good synergy going on with the Orianna and the Kazakhs. I agree with Martin. He was the reason that the Twitch was able to get to 3 items. And sure, when you are at 3 items, when you got your Infinity Edge completed, you're going to be able to do a lot on that Twitch. But that's not due to Nuktak being a great AD carry player. That's just due to the champion.
You just don't want to give him any praise, do you?
I mean, it wasn't too bad. He had some fine openings in the end. Definitely want to give him credit there, but
No, I'm kidding.
it is like a lot of these late game fights is so rarely about one guy, you know.
Yeah, and there were so many fights, so that's why we have a couple of those lined up. And the first one I want to take a look at, the first couple of fights were in the mid-game, around 30 minutes into the game. And the fights are always good from Vitality, but after they mess up a bit. But at least the fights go well at this point.
Yeah, I'm kind of like the last game, you know,
Yeah.
and what we've seen is so far the split. Like, I like the TP here from Alfari into kind of start the fight because it looks like Vitality are a little bit cornered. But then Maxwell, when he jumps in, because Nukeduck flashes early, he ends up getting just Vander with his kick. And he's now actually trading himself for the support, which is obviously in favor of Vitality. And it also means that now there's no pressure on a steelback when the fight actually starts, because Maxwell already used his engage on the support. And that's when suddenly Twitch can open up. But then Hansama actually ends up outplaying him at the end of it. And here's steelback trying to start the fight, but he's not with his team all of a sudden. And he actually ends up dying without getting a whole lot in return.
Yeah, Lantern not available from Vander, and everyone just flashes. Everyone on Misfits just flashes on Steelback, are able to bring him down. Afterwards, Vitality win the fight. They are able to get up to the inhibitor as we fast forward
So
here.
all good, all good.
All good so far, but it's going to turn sour for Vitality here because they get the inhib, they get the recalls off, but they're recalling all at the same time with Baron available, Martin.
Yeah, and that's just the thing. You can't do this in the late game, especially not against Kalista, who obviously is so good at securing the Baron in the variant. Tahm Kench ulti as well, so you can't all just start recalling. You need to go back, like at this point, like one by one almost. So some people are staying to stop them from rushing Baron. Joko also, I think at this point, this late in the game, don't even try and go for steal against Kalista, just because it should be impossible when you're all alone here. But funny enough, like Misfits were never able to push it all the way down.
Yeah, at some point they were able to 1-3-1 a bit and go all the way up onto the inhibitor turret, but never break that. And as the fights went on, Vitality did find their form in those fights. There was one glimmer of hope, rather, for Misfits that we're going to take a look at, thanks to... Actually, we have to check it out, because we thought it was a lockout on our next one, but it must have just been the lockout on Ignar. Let's take a look.
It was a big shield, but first, what happens here with Power of Evil?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Power of Evil's Corky. We praised him so much in the first game, but then accidentally hits the blast cone, gets us into the team and bursts it out immediately. And the thing about Misfits comp right now is that it's a two-threat comp. It's Hansama and it's Power of Evil. And when you get to 6 items, Corky, with Triple Infernal, you're supposed to be able to put down the damage, but when you get bursted immediately, that's a sad place. And although with that said, Hansama was able to carry that fight off the back of it.
So Henning, they win the fight here. Misfits grab another Baron off the back of that. How come Misfits that we've praised for being better and being able to close out games, can they only do it when they're miles ahead? Are they not able to do it as easily when it's close for them?
They didn't really have the tools in the draft, I think, in this game. They like to pick these sort of pick supports, get the Thresh, get the Bard, get the Blitzcrank to be able to fund the picks. But right now, in this game, you saw like Alfari flash stun someone on Renekton. You saw Maxler really trying hard to get the Lee Sin engages and not quite being able to do so. So the normal pick style that they like to play on Misfits, they were not able to pull it off.
And also, when the game goes longer and everyone has armor and everyone has a Guardian Angel and everyone has everything, then it's much harder to get those picks off.
Exactly, and Renekton and Lee Sin are not exactly famous, big late game tanks. So when they try and go in for that flash stun or kick from a Lee Sin against a 6-item Twitch and 6-item Orianna, you die extremely fast. And that's why in the very, very last few team fights, we did see Steelback being able to take down 2 or 3 guys extremely quickly with the help of Nukeduck. And then the late game scaling just went in favor of Vitality with more damage on their side.
And let's take a look at the final fight that brought Vitality to victory here unexpectedly over the Misfits, and how it turns out it is Misfits that wants to pull the trigger.
Yeah, look at Steelback just opening up here, and so much is used to take him down, but they're not able to. And I spoke about the 2-threat comp from Misfits. It's just Power of Evil and Hansama that can put out the damage. Meanwhile, look on Vitality, they have pretty much 4 damage dealers on the team. So even though it's a 6-item Corky with Triple Infernal, they're not able to lock up Nukeduck.
They had so
and
many
Steelback.
dragons.
Although it's very close there towards the end.
It's also very interesting to look at the 280 carries in terms of their late game damage output. Like if you look at a Kalista, if she gets down 2 or 3 hits in a fight, you don't really yell, wow, that's insane. She's just getting sick crits everywhere. She's killing almost the entire team. Like she needs a better time before she really takes over a fight. Twitch opens up, closes his eyes, 6 items, pops his ulti, gets crits through the entire team, and in 2 or 3 shots, he's killed half the enemy comp. And that's where, again, the late game Twitch just kicked in for Steelback and managed to secure that, because that was a good engage from him. in this last fight here that then allowed them actually to win.
So Vitality, we talked about, is a Joker that needs to get them started. Do we need early kills? Do we need this? Do we need that? Maybe we just need team fighting and brawling for them in the mid to late game.
Works for some teams in Europe.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have
it's
to
a bit
play
broad,
the perfect
but
macro game if
no.
you can.
They were
try and-
only playing on the mid lane, these two teams, so
Yeah, and if the other team jumps into it and you have a strong team fighting comp, you can win games.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Just get away from the picks from Misfits. Play safe around that. Don't get picked off. And if Nuke Duck are able to carry them through the early game, they show that with the team fight comp, they can pull it off.
Oh, it is exciting. It's cool. It's fun. I'm happy we're
There were
getting a
so
game
many
3.
fights in this
Yeah.
game. It was like, get that replay, maybe that replay.
So hopefully we'll get a just as exciting game 3. Vitality and Misfits Gaming are getting ready for the final fight in this series. We will be right back. Don't you go anywhere.